on its feet right away. I like to get it right on its feet, which means let's get up and get your pencils and let's start blocking the show, deciding where we're going to move and how we're going to move. But it's just kind of general movements at first, you know, just to get the positions and the general movements. The actors have to know why they're moving as characters. If the actor as the character can't justify the movement, then it doesn't really work.
I memorize my blocking and I memorize lines at the same time. It's just easier for me to follow my blocking because it helps me motivate my lines.
The blocking, especially when you're working in the round, is really important because there's so much to do with sight lines and, you know, where your back is and how long your back is turned that way.
Working in the round is the closest you can get to film acting on a stage because the audience is not more than 5 feet away from you at any given time. So you don't have to be as big or as, you know, theatrical on in the round as you do on a proscenium. I mean, where somebody's, you know, 100 feet away from you, you got to make sure that they can see way in the back or hear you way in the back.
With the proscenium, you always have to be so incredibly aware of the fact that there's an audience over there. And you must constantly be working to turn your body out, to cheat out, as we say. Whereas in Theater in the Round, you really don't have to do that. You can feel much more natural in Theater in the Round because you don't have to turn to the side and look at someone out of the corner of your eye to have a conversation with them. So all these people out this way can see you. The audience is all around you.
You always have to remember that there's someone behind you, there's someone next to you. You can't point one part of your body towards one part of the audience for so long without having to turn and make sure everyone gets to see you.
The audience is all around, so you can turn in every direction.
It's definitely a challenge.
I have been painting sets for Colonial Players since the 70s.
The first person I met with when I was selected was my set designer. I got my set designer and we sat down and we had several meetings.
The director approached me and said, would you consider this doing a set design? I have this image that the play is really about art. I'm an artist and I work with artists all the time. I thought, oh, well, if we can go that angle, I think I would like to pursue a design that involved art.
And then she drew some some pictures for me.
Because of the way the play is structured, Gary felt that we could use a single set. The play opens and the two actors, Adam and Evelyn, are in an art gallery. And so that will be the set that remains for the play. The art objects on the stage will be used in various different ways. The actors will be sitting on what looks like a sculpture and using it as a chair in a subsequent scene, things like that. So I thought that sounded really interesting to me. Well, I have great help with Dick Whaley in the building department, and he's willing to try to make anything that we imagine.
Beth and I joined in 1951, right after we got married. We came to Annapolis and she looked for a theater, and the Colonial Players had just started, was 2 years old. I find that when a bunch of volunteers get together and work on something collaboratively, great things happen, fun things happen. My slave driver set designer, I wish there were more like her. She has a concept and she knows what she wants, and it's very easy to follow. This show is a matter of building boxes. We're good at building boxes. We've built so many boxes, we should be over our head if we didn't throw some of them away. But, the things that we had to consider, of course, were the height limitations because of all the sight lines in the Theater in the Round. Things can't be very tall. Have to limit everything to about 32 inches. The main sculpture that's in the center of the stage when the play opens will break apart. It's modular, and so it will become seats or little tables. I try to make them as light as possible because they have to be moved. And we put slides underneath so they can be pushed on stage from one place to another, but I've also left a lip so they can get their hand under it. I'm looking forward to seeing this whole thing come together.